Welcome back to the Sky Lifestyles Coaching Series, helping men all around the world to attract and connect with women on level few men will ever experience.
So Joe asked me to come on and just tell you guys a little bit about, I know you heard my story, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I got out of his teaching and some of the things that I did. And probably the biggest thing that, I can give you guys is the fact that when Joe would ask me to do something, I'd just do it. I wouldn't ask why. I wouldn't ask, I don't know how I'm going to get it done. I wouldn't ask anything. I would just do it. If there was changing something in my house, changing something personally, my wardrobe, anything, when he suggested something, I would just do it. And I think you guys don't understand quite the cumulative effect of all the stuff that he's saying. It's a building block. It's like, I've always said it's like math. You can't go from arithmetic to calculus overnight. It's going to be a process. So if you don't take all the courses in between, you're never going to get to the end. So if you guys are skipping, exercises, cherry picking, saying I'll do it later, well, that's just what's going to happen. Your results are going to come a lot later. So, my big suggestion is really just do the work that he suggests. And I know it's hard. This stuff isn't easy, and you're here for a reason. You hired him as a consultant to help you in this area of your life. And if you're not going to take his advice, why are you even here? It's kind of silly. It's like hiring a lawyer and then not taking his legal advice and then just going out and trying to, go to court yourself or something. It doesn't work. He's an expert in this field. He's done a lot of great stuff, and, all the stuff he's given me is tremendously valuable in my life. I started working with him, was it 4 years ago, Joe? Something like that?
Yeah. Yep.
4 or 5 years ago. Took me probably about 6 months. I had a lot of rapid changes in 6 months, but it probably took me a good year and a half or so to really get it ingrained, deep down in my soul where it is now. It's really, a part of who I am now. It took a little while, but kept doing the work, kept moving forward, and, here I am. So, do you want to ask something?
Does anybody have any questions regarding that? I know, Knut and a couple of you are struggling with just doing the simple shit, right? Just doing it. When I tell you to do something, you're really struggling to do it, just to do it in the first place. And Drew, one of the biggest things for him was he just did it. And that, and he kept getting experiences, and then the more experiences that he had, the more it really confirmed the affirmations that he was doing and the beliefs. And, do you have any questions for him around that?
Are you happy?
Am I happy? What do you think? Does it look like I'm happy, or does it look like I'm sad?
Yeah, I just have to verify. Yeah.
I've always been a very happy person, but this really just amped it up about 10 more notches. I mean,
so when you
go ahead.
When you are in, what did you say?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just wondering if you are in a club or a social environment or anything. Is it like you can get a hot chick without a doubt or something in your mind?
Yep, not a doubt in my mind. Happens all the time. Actually, I've been dating a girl now for about 4 months, so not as much now, but, for a long time when I was going out, often, no problem at all. And it came from within. That was a mindset that came from within. Doing all these different things that Joe suggested for me, it was a building block. It really, really just fed on itself, and it just started getting better and better and better. You get results, and then, you just start believing it, and that's really the key is once you start believing it, it's not going to stop for you. It'll just be awesome. But you've got to get to that point, and you can't get to that point until you do the exercises and take the feedback that's coming from these calls and this video and implement it. Because if you just do the same thing, you're just wasting your time. You're wasting your time. You're wasting all the other guys' times on this call, and you're wasting his time. And, he'd much rather Joe gets so jacked up when he sees you guys do well. I mean, he did it with me too. I mean, he just gets so fired up. That's his payback. That's his payback as a coach. You know, I coach football. My payback when I see these little kids just, you know, listen to something that I've taught them and implement it. It's just awesome. So, but you got to do the work.
Hey, Chocolate Love.
How do I expand my capacity for gratitude?
How do you expand your capacity for gratitude?
Yes.
Go jump off a bridge and see if you survive. If you survive, you're going to be one grateful motherfucker.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you feel grateful right now?
I mean, where I'm at right now is, you know, I'll just be driving down the street or something, and I'll just see like an amazing vista of clouds, and I'll just be awestruck by the magnificent beauty of the universe. But I mean, you know, I think below me there's this, you know, this warm ocean of deep gratitude, but it's like,
I'm just wondering if that's when you're on acid or when you're not.
my life is my acid.
Oh, no, but it's great. Well, one thing is being able to appreciate nature. You just mentioned that. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, you know, I live in Florida, which is very beautiful down here, and, you know, I just appreciate the ocean, the blue sky, the green grass, all that kind of stuff. And for me, my gratitude is deeply founded in my fact that I'm really just happy to be alive. In a car accident when I was 17, you guys probably heard my story, and just grateful to be alive. So every day is a gift for me. So that's where my gratitude comes from. Obviously, you guys have different experiences in your life. You're not disabled like I am or anything like that, but you've also had other adversity in your life. We all have. And it's a matter of, you know, recognizing that there are a lot of other people in this world that are way, way worse than you are, or than I am even. And it's just, you know, having that feeling inside that, you know, you're dealt these cards, you just got to play them. You don't ask why. I don't ask why. I don't know why this happened to me. I have no idea, because it's kind of irrelevant. That will be a question that's probably never explained. And so you can either focus on the why me or the poor me, or, you know, darn, I don't have money, or I'm not good looking enough, or I'm in a wheelchair, or I'm this or I'm that. You can focus on all the negatives, or you can focus on the positive of, you know, what's going on in your life and the things you're grateful for, whether it's family or friends or, you know, having a job or, you know, just being able to wake up and breathe every day. Those are the things that, you know, expand your gratitude.
You know, if you go on YouTube, YouTube is an amazing place to find video about pretty much anything. If you go in and just search, you know, accidents, and you search, you know, you do research from all these other third world countries with people that have a whole lot less than we have, stuff that we take for granted every day, like having a roof over our head, clean water, you know, food to put in our mouths. If you really go in and just watch videos and look at how most of the people on this planet really live and how much they struggle on a daily basis, I promise you're going to find gratitude. You know, a lot of times what I'll do personally is I'll go on and watch videos, you know, just so I can feel the feelings of gratitude and compassion.
So basically, he just puts a video of me on a screen, and then he just feels better. So probably another thing that Joe probably hasn't gone into a lot with you guys is, you know, your physical environment, you know, where you live and what you surround yourself with, whether it's your bedroom or your house or your apartment, and how important of an impact that is, you know, on how you feel. I mean, if you're surrounding yourself with a lot of darkness and a lot of things that are keeping you down, that's probably not a great thing either. You know, Joe came into my house, you know, originally and just said it just doesn't feel sexy at all. Not at all. Not one iota of sexiness in this house. He looked around and he said, tell me the sexiest thing in here. And there just wasn't. Just wasn't there. And so we started doing some different things. And this isn't, you know, costing thousands of dollars. And, all kinds of stuff. It was just the little things, whether it was, buying a different, picture or, just some little things, or rearranging things within the house, or just painting. All those different things changed the whole internal environment of my house. Now, every day when I come in here, I feel like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And, bring girls in here and it's all awesome. But I've spent so much time in the house, as we all do in our apartments and, rooms or wherever we're living, so much time is spent there. But if it's not, conducive to what you're trying to accomplish in your life, it's kind of holding you back like an anchor. It's gone over that at all, Joe, with them?
No, we haven't gone into that yet, that part of it. We're going to be going into that.
Because for the guys that can't, Joe can't go there, he'll have you take your laptop or whatever and just walk around or just scan or pan all the way around your room or your house or whatever. And, one guy that was on the call last year, his apartment looked like a Pottery Barn catalog, but it was so sterile feeling. I imagine what Joe saw when he came into my house for the first time. It was kind of that feeling. So I knew what he, after working with me, I knew what he was looking at, and that's what this place felt like. So guys can look around as well. So I got a question for Knut. So what was when you asked me that question about being able to go into a bar and be able to pick out a beautiful girl that I wanted and have that happen, does that not sound like that's possible to you?
To be honest, to see you sit in that wheelchair through webcam, while I have the background about you, like the video Joe shared with us a couple of months ago, it's disbelief. It's a reality check. I know logically that you are an attractive man and stuff because Joe has told us and you have just told me. But it's too amazing, You seem like a very confident guy, so I can understand that you are an attractive man. But still, it's so against my limiting beliefs that it's hard to really grasp,
That's a great point, and I think that, initially when I was first injured, I thought I would never date a girl again. That was my mindset at 17 years old, almost 18. I said, who's going to want to date a guy in a wheelchair? Well, there was a guy that came to the hospital that spoke to me that had been out. He's in a wheelchair also. It had been out 5-10 years out in society and came back, and I asked him this question. I said, here I am 18 years old, I was always very athletic and now I'm paralyzed, can't even fully take care of myself, not fully independent. I said, what girl would possibly want to date me? And he looked me right in the eye and he said, Andrew, I want you to listen to one thing. He said, listen very carefully and don't you forget it. And I looked him right in the eye and he said, biggest thing to get over with is your own fear. He said, when you get over your own fear, you're going to be just fine. And I never forgot that. And it's absolutely true. If I were walking around, not every girl would be attracted to me. A lot of them would, but same thing rolling around. Not every girl's attracted to me. So when a girl's not attracted to me, I don't sit here, for me now, I don't say, oh, it's because I'm in a wheelchair. That's not what I say to myself. I say she's just not attracted to me. So similarly, in your case, if a girl's not attracted to you, you can start beating yourself up and say, gee, I'm not this or I'm not that or, whatever, and start beating yourself up. You can't do that to yourself. She may just not be attracted to you. So best thing you can do is change yourself internally so you feel as attractive of a man as you possibly can be, and that will absolutely project out there. But that's not a guarantee. Even Joe, when Joe and I are together, it's not like, every single girl is attracted to us. A lot of them are, but a lot of them aren't. So that's reality. So for me, I had to get over my own fear of I'll never date another girl again. And when I did that,
the thing that we should probably touch on there, Drew, is what the girls that The girls that I am most attracted to are most attracted to me. The girls that Drew is most attracted to are attracted to him. We're not attracting the same. We're not attracting the same type of girls when we go out, right? We're attracting two totally different types of girls. We want
the girls I attract are way hotter than girls Joe attracts. Just the way it works. They're different. But no, it's really true though, because where I am and what I'm looking for in my life is different than what Joe is, and we're different people. He's not trying to make you guys all little Joes. He wants me to be Drew. He wants you to be you. He doesn't want you to be him, because you're not him, and you'll never be him, and I'll never be him. He wants you to be your own unique individual person, and he's doing his best to bring the best out of you that he possibly can. And that is the key, guys, is, focus on what you have, all of your strengths that you have within. Don't focus on trying to be him, because you never will be. That's really, really an important point. Is look at the great qualities that you all have, and all you guys are all good-looking guys. You look outgoing. You're smiling. You guys have what it takes. You just don't believe it right now. That's the issue that's going on with you. Is you don't believe it.
But you will.
If you have what it takes to go out there. And until you fix that belief, you're going to continue to not have the results that you want. But when that starts to click, guys, I guarantee you it will change your life forever.
And all of the little things that we're doing each and every week, all the little things, even though you may not understand it or you fully don't understand the purpose behind it, all these little things are stepping stones to helping you develop that belief in you.
Really great point. I mean, little things Joe did with me, he's like, I hate that splint on your arm. I hate the fact that it looks so medical. And it was ugly.
I said it was ugly as fuck.
Exactly. He said, and I said, well, not much I can do about it. He goes, I just hate the color. It looked a lot better when it was black. So what did I do? I went online immediately, looked for black splints. Guess what? They don't make them. So what did I do? Took out a black Sharpie and painted it. And then sealed it. I've had more comments from people that know me. They're like, did you get a new splint? What's going on with that? It was awesome. Little thing, did not cost me money, but I did it. And after I did it, I'm much happier that I did. I think it looks a lot better black than it did that stupid medical color that it was. It was like a beige, nasty beige color, and it was terrible. I didn't know any better, and there was no other color choice, so I just did it. But that's an example of a really, really tiny thing that changed that I did just because he said I think it would look better. So,
What about your watch?
Watch was good. I had
old man watch.
Old man watch, as he calls it. I got an old man watch. So when we had some of the guys down, I bought a watch. And I've had more comments on that watch in the last, probably 4 months than I've had in probably 20 years on any watch I've ever worn. So, again, little things. Suggested, I did it. I didn't ask why. I didn't say whatever. I just said, okay, I'll try it. But that's being open to it, guys. You got to be open to the process, and you got to have fun with this stuff. You guys all look so damn serious, and you just got to lighten up about it. Make it fun. I still fall on my face all the time. But I laugh about it. It's funny. It's life. Shit happens. Here it is, but it's fun. If you guys make this too serious, think about it. If it's serious and it's work, you think you want to do it? Who wants to go do a bunch of work? That sounds like a pain in the ass. Who wants to do some fun stuff? Well, make it fun. Again, who gets to choose how you think about it? You do. You can think about it. Same thing with your affirmations or any of that stuff. You can sit here and go, oh, God, I got to say these stupid affirmations in the mirror. It's like, oh, damn it. Do you think you're going to want to do them? How about if you say, these affirmations are going to change my life?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think you'd do? You'd be on those affirmations a lot. If I said to you, this next exercise that Joe's going to give you is going to change your life for the positive, for the better, you think you'd do it? Sure. If I said, I'll give you $1 million if you do this exercise, you think you'd do it? You think you'd be bitching about it? Oh, God, I don't want to do this. No, you do it. Because why? Because the incentive was that big that you would just do it without even questioning it. Okay, but changing your life is worth way more than $1 million. So the incentive is still there by about 100-fold, but you're not seeing it that way. You're seeing it as, oh, this is work, or this is a pain in the ass, or I can't do it. Well, we said also that Henry Ford once said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So if you think you can't do something, you're not going to be able to do it. If you don't think you can change, you're not going to be able to change. So again, open up your mind to the possibilities. That's another thing even I had to do. I had to open up my mind to say, I am going to be the person I want to be, not the person I am now. And that started to really, accelerate my change as well, was when I really opened myself up to, I'm going to be a sexy motherfucker. I'm just doing it. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And I did it, opened myself up to it, and that's when it really took off. And here it is.
And it's a whole lot different. And it is a whole lot different from the first time when I met Drew. I still remember sitting down at the dinner table with him when I met him. It was a mutual friend of ours, and we sat down at the dinner table, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Even if he wasn't in a chair, I'd be like, oh, fuck, how am I going to help this guy?
And I remember him telling me that later. It was like, but again, I didn't know any better. I mean, probably I was wearing jeans and probably a funky shirt. I mean, I don't know what I even looked like. I don't remember what I was wearing. But the point was, it wasn't even so much what I was wearing. It was how I carried myself, all the different things. Everything about me was everything that Joe was like, God, I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy. So, but he said, I'll take it on. He said, I don't have anything better to do. I feel sorry for the guy. No. Actually was like, okay, you can write me a check and then I'll do it. I'll try. But no, really, I mean, even after the fact, Joe really said, he said, I really didn't know what I was going to do with you. And he said, but again, there's a good example of he was very open to it. He said, I don't know if I can do it. I've never worked with a guy in a chair. But he told me later, he opened his mind up to it and said, I'm going to do everything I can to help this guy get what he wants. And he did. He didn't know what he was doing. He'd never worked with somebody like me. But he said, some of the stuff's got to be universal, whether you're in a chair or not. And so he tried it. He didn't immediately say, I can't do it. He said, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but he didn't say he couldn't do it. There's a difference there.
I said I would. I said somehow, some way, this will happen. Anytime a doubt came up in my mind, oh, this is not possible, or, he's in a chair, what chick's going to be attracted to him, right? Though any thought was squashed right there in the moment, and me saying, I really don't give a fuck. I just know it's going to happen. Somehow, some way.
So, Joe, you've come accustomed to that, recognizing when that shit comes up and squashing it when it comes up.
Correct. Yep. Well, a lot of it is based on how we feel, right? If we learn to understand how to feel and really be in our bodies, what will happen is you will recognize when you start feeling crappy or you start feeling anxious or you start feeling like shit, you're aware of it. because you're more in tune with your body and you're more in tune in living it in the moment. And when that stuff comes up, you can eliminate it and squash it right there on the spot.
That's one thing where I have probably a big advantage over all you guys is I am very, very in tune to my body. Not being able to feel from about my chest down and move, I am very aware of my body. I mean, my body, my feet send me signals in a different way. If you touch my foot, I wouldn't be able to feel it. But let's say my toes are curled when I get my shoes put on in the morning. My feet will start to jump, or they'll send me signals other ways other than regular feeling ways. So I'm very, very in tune with what my body's telling me. And I have the same thing. When I'm out of alignment, I feel it right away. But it doesn't happen all that often. But when it does, I correct it and put myself back into alignment. And you guys have got to get to that recognition point where you feel and listen to what your body's saying. That's really, really important. If your body's resisting, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like your body may resist change. Your friends may resist the change in you. Your family may resist change in you. But if it's that important to you guys, you got to just push through that. So that resistance is not necessarily bad. It's basically just saying, oh boy, I don't want to, that's maybe a little bit painful, or that may be a little bit too much, or whatever. It's all that doubt. Those feelings that come up are doubt. And you've got to be able to overcome that and move forward.
You've got to know that you're stronger than the doubt. You are stronger than the fears. No matter what thoughts, no matter what negative thoughts pop up, no matter what doubt comes up, no matter what fear, you have got to believe in you that you are stronger. And you are not going to allow this shit that is not real control you.
Like, one of the things you were saying earlier was, you aren't attracting the girls that you want to attract right now. Well, why do you think that is? I heard Joe use the analogy, the apple-orange analogy. It's really true. It's because your thought about where you are is a lot higher than actually where you are. You're discounting girls that you may have a tremendous connection with that aren't knockout, beautiful, gorgeous women. And that's really selling yourself short, because you can't possibly be open to the beautiful women until you understand yourself, understand, who you're attracting and why you're attracting certain people and all that kind of stuff. Use it as a learning process. Don't immediately discard a girl because she's not a perfect 10 or she's not as beautiful as you think she should be. That's where you get all the learning. But it's all about the connection. Girls that I have, that I've been with are not all knockout 10s. Same thing with the girls Joe's with. But there's a connection there that's way bigger than just the physical looks. It's not all about looks. It's about that connection and being there. And, you've got to be open to that and be able to experience that. And the right person is attracted to you.
Yeah, no, you're spot on that. And what you'll find is throughout this, before this program's up, what you're going to find is when you're going to start getting more experience under your belt. The girls are going to start getting cuter and cuter. And then eventually you're going to get up to that point where you're dating the 10. And then what you're going to find is you're going to go backwards. Because what you're going to find is you connect a whole lot more with your 7 or 8, not the 10.
Guys, you recognize how, beautiful women, a lot of them are just incredibly insecure and shallow?
Yeah.
They are. If you've ever dated them, but I have dated a lot of them, they are very insecure. And it's not, there's a lot of baggage that goes along with that. And so my point is it may not be as great as you think it is. Just from the physical looks, yeah, wow, I'd love to date her. She's hot. Okay, well, going home, taking her home and sleeping with her, okay, that's all right, whatever. But to have a deeper connection with somebody, that may not be the girl. That's a great point Joe made about going up to a 10 and then throttling back a little bit. You're going to find your connection, maybe with a 7 or 8. And again, you don't really put numbers on women, too. You just kind of, but the point is, it doesn't have to be the most knockout woman. It's somebody that you have a connection with. That's where all the passion is. That's where the bubble is, where you just forget about the rest of the world and you just have that unbelievable connection. That's what you're looking for. That's what we're all looking for. But you guys have got to be able to do the work to uncover all the natural stuff in you that is going to attract those kind of girls. I mean, we all have natural attraction methods. We've all been around since the beginning of time. Man's been around since the beginning of time, and men and women have gotten together. They didn't have these programs or whatever. There's always somebody out there for somebody else. But, a lot of times your brain gets in the way and thinks, oh, well, I want this or I want that. Well, that's fine, but it may not be what you truly want deep down. So you got to get really focused about what it is you want.
And that's where being honest.
Good.
That's where being honest comes in. Being really honest.
Your body cannot hold a lie. You've got to be in alignment with what's coming inside with what you're projecting outside. If you didn't do the work, I didn't do it. I screwed up. Laugh at yourself. You're going to get a lot farther in this program if you say, nope, just didn't do it. Rather than making excuses like, I had to work, or my phone broke, or the dog ate my text message, or, whatever, guys, be honest. And that's part of it. That's part of it. Say you fucked up. Say I screwed up. I just didn't do it. And then Joe will be like, okay, let's get to why you didn't do it. But don't try to make some excuse about how you couldn't get it done. The point is, you make time for the things that are important. If you want to do this, you'll make the time to do it. If you don't really want it, you won't. You'll come up with excuses. So put in the time and do the work. And if you don't want it, then don't. But don't make an excuse, and you're going to get a lot farther by really being honest with yourself. Because there's a reason why you guys didn't do the exercise this week or last week or 2 weeks ago or whenever it was. All of you guys have probably not put in 110% to all these exercises. There's a reason for that. Only you guys can figure out the reason, and Joe can help you with that, but only if you're honest.
Here's one thing I gotta bring this up. One, do you think it's attractive to a woman to be with a guy that is full of excuses and never tells the truth and always has an excuse and some bullshit reason why he came home and didn't pick up the milk? Do you think a woman wants that in a guy?
Yes. Hell no.
Exactly.
I would hate it in her.
Exactly. It's not an attractive quality. That is one of the qualities that every one of you have got to develop. You've got to develop a quality of being a man of integrity, being honest with who you are and what you're doing. If you fuck up, oops, I fucked up. Perfect. Awesome. I'm human. Of course I'm going to fuck up. Right? I don't have any excuses. That's another thing that when you're more in tune with your body, you can be more aware of and pick up on throughout the week on it, and that's again a skill that every one of you should be working on developing, paying attention to your bullshit excuses. In the beginning of this program, every one of you wrote out all those excuses. What have you done with those? You're continuing to say them and use them, aren't you? Avin's like, yes.
Guys, it's a matter of being authentic, too. You've got to be authentic and who you really are. You got to peel back all these layers of BS that are going on that are preventing you from getting what you want. Peel it back. Laugh about it. As I said a little earlier, I still screw up. I laugh about it. It's funny. You take that as a learning experience so you don't do it again. okay? But you laugh about it. What an idiot I was, or, what was I thinking? Any of that stuff. But that's funny. Humor, guys, humor is an incredibly powerful emotion there. Being able to use humor, women love guys that can make them laugh. It's funny. Find things that are funny, guys. Laugh a little bit. It's not so damn serious.
As Knut sits there looking like a serial killer.
That's like, I will hunt you down.
but I get performance anxiety when I hear stuff like that, like you have to be funny and stuff, because I'm not a comedian, and my performance anxiety.
I can tell you one thing, Knut, that I just noticed right in that one little thing, and everybody else probably noticed it also. When Joe made you laugh, your whole complete body just changed. You don't have to be a comedian. I'm not a comedian, but I find funny things to laugh about. We all can find funny things. So when you just started laughing, when he was giving you crap like that, your whole face changed.
His entire energy shifted.
Yeah, exactly. Your whole energy shifted. You sat back. You're much more relaxed. You were smiling. That's what you got to get to. It doesn't mean you have to sit up, and be a jokester and be in front of everybody. We're not suggesting that. But being able to laugh at yourself, laugh at other funny stuff that happens, it relaxes you. You're much more relaxed and in tune. Instead of
I can't really help you when you're not on this call, but I can help you when you are on this call. All you got to do is look at Avin. It'll definitely make you laugh.
I don't know what I'm doing. That's good.
Avin, joke's on you on this one. No, Drew is spot on. If you look at Knut's energy, when we say something and we get him to sit up and he's just more animated and just he looks just more alive. He feels more alive when he puts a smile on his face.
Knut, that's a hugely attractive quality. Now we've given you some really good feedback there. Now it's up to you to implement that. One thing I asked Jaden to do a few months back when I was on this call one other time was smile. I'd like you to do that for the next week. When you see anybody, I want you to smile. Every time you see somebody, I want you to smile. If you see a dog, I want you to smile. If you see another person, I want you to see a smile. If you are just looking off into space, I want you to smile more.
Tune in next time for more from Skyy Lifestyles. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and visit us at CorySkyy.com.